Hello guys, this is episode number 2 of my series of analog film cameras, and today we're going to be reviewing the Pentacon 6 TL. The Pentacon 6 is a 6x6 medium format camera system made by Pentacon from 1956 all the way until 1992 in the happy country of East Germany. The Pentacon 6 also came with a simple waist level finder that had a flip up cover. You could also get the non-metered prism, and eventually you could get the TTL metered prism. It shoots both 120 and 220 rolls and came stock with a Carl Zeiss Jena DDR biometer 80mm f2.8 lens. Keep in mind, Carl Zeiss Jena was the East Germany breakoff of the Carl Zeiss we know today, and was also eventually brought into the Carl Zeiss family again and is historically considered a part of Carl Zeiss. It also utilizes a focal plane shutter that runs across horizontally and can shoot from speeds of 1 second to 1/1000th of a second, including bulb. My speeds, I think, are pretty close to accurate, but I had to work on this camera quite a bit to get it close to where it was, and one couldn't believe how complicated a camera could actually be. So before we start actually reviewing this camera, I thought it would be kind of important to show you how to actually load it, because historically speaking, these are pieces of junk. I have about 3 of them and maybe one works. And if you don't load it properly, what's going to happen is that all of your frames are going to overlap, and you can probably get some really cool effects with that, but today, since we're just testing the camera and not some edgy effects, it's probably pretty important that I show you guys how to load it. So we're shooting with Portrait 400 today. So you're going to pull out this knob, which helps you get access into here. Keep your thumb on this and bring it over to the other spool, and then move it a little bit. Keep your finger in here, kind of get it started before you start winding it. Then you're going to take your lever and you're going to go up here and you're going to inch it forward. Always holding tension on this back spool. And you should see marks on the paper. And then once it's at the line, the white dot on the bottom, you can bring your lever all the way back and then take your picture. Don't forget to do that. And then you can close it. And now you're ready to shoot. So as long as you do that, you shouldn't have any issues. So the Pentacon actually comes with this kind of handy dandy focusing magnifying glass. If you're really trying to do some critical focusing, this is pretty helpful, especially for things that are at infinity, because you do have to focus at infinity on this. So I imagine you guys are wondering what I think about the Pentacon 6. And I sort of have a love-hate relationship with my Pentacon. This is the third Pentacon that I've had in my entire life. And this is my second Pentacon. I had to take this Pentacon apart to fix this one because both were broken, and the one before that was broken. I managed fixing that one. But now that this is fixed, it works pretty perfectly. I haven't had any issues with it, so don't let the fact that I've had 3 broken versions of this camera sway you from getting the Pentacon 6 if you like the video. It's just something to keep in mind. These cameras are very mechanically complicated, and they get kind of gunked up over time. So since a lot of these cameras have been sitting in some Russian guy's attic for the past 10 to 20 years, you can expect that a lot of them are having some issues. But as soon as they're cleaned up, I think that they are very good cameras. As for the lens, I think the lens is perfect. I think it fits the needs that I want. The color reproduction isn't as accurate as I would like, and I sometimes find the photos a pain to edit just based on how they were photographed. But it does have the capacity to take a lot of sharp photos, and there is an extensive line of lenses for this camera. We're talking a lot of lenses, so I really want to try out the 55mm. There's a sonar. I want to try the 65mm 2.8 lens. I think that that would be pretty cool and pretty fun to shoot. Another thing that I would like to mention is that I don't necessarily think 6x6 is my format. Like, I don't own 6x6. I don't see the world in 6x6. I like to take pictures that have a lot of information that kind of build into this narrative. But whenever you're in 6x6 mode, you're sort of forced to focus on what's important. And I think creatively, that can be a very good thing to focus on, to kind of block out this noise and to kind of photograph with this subtle noticing. Like, I notice this thing and I want to photograph that. I notice this thing and I want to photograph that. It's very good of making things seem very important. As far as if I would shoot this camera again, yeah, I love this camera. I just love any old kind of beautifully designed camera. I would definitely shoot this one again. If you're getting a camera for quality, this might not be the camera for you, but I'm photographing for fun. I'm photographing because I love taking pictures. I think that this is great for filling that gap, and everything sort of takes on this sort of vintage vibe that's applicable. I would like to try the Zenzabranica, and I would also like to try a Hasselblad maybe in the future, but I just don't think I'm a Hasselblad kind of guy. I think I'm just having too much fun using quirky cameras. So if you guys like quirky cameras, if you like Pentacon 6 and you also have 3 other broken ones laying around somewhere, feel free to comment, subscribe, like, I don't really care, just say hi or something if you want. I'm Landon. Until next time.